What is it about wine that brings out the romance of everyday life? It carries us into the realm of heightened sensuality in which nothing is more important than this very moment. Wine is sexy, it is sweet, it is passion and fire and chocolate and roses. It is falling in love for the first time or learning to dance the tango without ever looking at your feet. Wine is trusting your senses and being lost in the enchantment of elegance. The great novelist Paulo Coelho once wrote, "Accept what life has to offer you and try to drink from every cup. All wines should be tasted. Some should only be sipped, but others drink the whole bottle." My first grape love affair began at the Thanksgiving table. A red Zinfandel with its light berry color contrasted the traditional browns and orange of the autumn foods. When I was a teenager, my dad would let us kids try one sip or two of this ripe, raspberry-tasting wine. I remember the spicy, oak-like aroma that swept into my nose and the tart, intense plum flavor. Dad always explained to us about how tannins in wine coat the mouth and add bitterness before you get to taste the sweet. He said it makes it easier to drink in moderation. Remember, it only takes a little bit, he would say, to enhance the flavors of this already spectacular meal. As an adult, it was a bottle of Grand Perrier Jouet. A friend had given it to me with instructions to bring it out only upon time of great jubilation. At the same time, my little sister lived close to me. We were both struggling single moms, and I was the one with the vehicle that she borrowed when one day she got into a terrible accident. She was shaken but walked away unscathed. The vehicle, on the other hand, was totaled. It took all of our earnings for that month to deal with the towing costs and the legalities of that accident. We needed money for rent, for bills, for food. We were desperate. We were scared. But there was a moment that it dawned on me, my sister is alive. I didn't know what we were going to do tomorrow, but today we were together. I reached into my fridge and brought out my special bottle of champagne. We popped open that cork and took in the spicy citrus ginger aroma. We toasted to the drama and the wonder of life and laughed. As the flavors of candied orange with a touch of honey filled our mouths, I shared that bottle, relishing the moment that my sister became my best friend. Now, a few years later, I'm doubly blessed to have friends who have become my sisters. We laugh and we play together. Sorry. We cry a bit and we lean on each other in times of need. We share our doubts about ourselves, but we also bolster each other with the simple acknowledgement of the other's strengths, dreams, and visions. A life worth living, like a bottle of wine worth drinking, is one that is worth sharing with a friend. And every time we gather, I bring my favorite wine, a Riesling, light and elegant, with a floral aroma and crisp apple, citrus, and honey flavors. Each pour is a glass of friendship. But there are some wines that elicit heat and passion. I was in a fiery relationship with a man once, and one night we shared a wine that was red and spicy and complex. He had done something wrong in our relationship, and I was seething on the inside. While stone-faced, I kept drinking my wine until suddenly, crazed, I took that glass of dark red wine and lifted it above my head and threw it crashing down onto his kitchen floor. "I'm so angry," I yelled. I was angry at all the longing I had in my heart, all the betrayal, at my yearning, at my vulnerability, and deep down still, I was angry at being unsure if I could ever really be loved. But you know what he didn't do? He never tried to stop me. He never resisted. He never shamed me for my feelings. He never belittled me. Here he was, faced with the volcanic, drunken tornado of my raging emotions, and he simply stood and allowed me to be me. In that moment was the realization that here is a man who has the capacity to see me and all of my drama and simply hold the space. I realized that that kind of strength has something to do with the kind of love I want in my life forever. Later, after my hurricane was all cleaned up and we sat next to each other in the calm, I asked him what next, and he said, next time maybe we drink beer. But I love my wine, and the adventure continues. I keep getting invited to these home-based business parties like Candlelight and Nerium, the kind of party where you go to someone's house and you talk about a product. And I always turn it down because I'm just not that interested. But my friends say, come on, at least there might be a free glass of wine and some treats. I always think, show me a party where I can sample free wine and talk about wine and learn about treats that go with wine, because wine is the product. Now that's the home party I want to go to. Well, I did some research, and behold, there is a business just like that, and I became a representative. So now I get to sample free bottles of wine and talk about wine and write about wine and enjoy profits and new friendships, throwing parties with wine. But my point is this: that life passes us by in moments that roll away too quickly. Sometimes we get to uncork and explore in all its depth and brevity the sights, aromas, and tastes, and the way that moment makes us feel. And if we're lucky, we get to toast it in a grand celebration with the perfect glass of wine. Thank you.